इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to our special edition of Business Opportunity Over Chai. This special edition, Business Opportunity Over Chai, will help you to understand the greatest business opportunity that Franchise India brings for you. So today we are bringing a great iconic brand called ACDC Express. To know more about this brand ACDC is all about, I would like to invite Venus, CEO from FranGlobal, who will like to help us to know about this brand, and from the brand side, who all are available, she will help us to know. Over to you, Venus.
Thank you so much, Harshika. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our guests who have joined us from South Africa. I will start with some introductions and then I'll bring in our brand for today. Very, very excited. So I'm Venus Barak, as my colleague Harshika mentioned, and I represent as CEO of FranGlobal. FranGlobal is an international market entry firm, and we work with international brands and concepts and help them find India entry, Middle East entry through master licensing or master franchising. That is our core service and business. We are part of Franchise India. If you're here, you would already know, but Franchise India is probably the world's largest, but definitely Asia's largest franchise service company in India. Franchise India represents and works with over 80% of the industry and really has built from ground up the ecosystem of franchising in India. FranGlobal, of course, is proud to be part of Franchise India and really works with international brands and connect them with the right partners. Okay, so today's brand is very interesting because retail franchising in India is one of the most successful models, and it's a very big industry. And ACDC Express, ACDC, which is the largest consumer goods, electronic goods brands coming out of South Africa, and they are looking now. They have actually taken a mandate to enter India and build the brand and business in India as one of their key markets outside of South Africa. And it's a very interesting industry. It already is of a certain size. Right now, the Indian electronic goods industry is almost $75 billion. growing at about 6.5% year on year. So in next 7 years, by year 2030, it is expected to reach $125 billion. And this is on the electronic retail side of things. So it's a huge industry, and there are many players in the Indian market who we actually Franchise India works with very closely, because majority of retailers would exercise franchising for expansion into the whole country. In fact, ACDC also heavily uses franchising as a vehicle for development and expansion into South Africa. And they're looking for, and that's why we have the brand today here, looking for a master franchise partner for development into key cities, starting with some key cities and territories into India. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we have the brand ACDC team joining us from Johannesburg. They have some storm issues, so in fact they were kind enough to go to a coffee shop and join us from there. So I want to thank you, Paulo. Welcome. And Paulo is the sales director for ACDC, and today he's joined by Vanessa and Julio, who from their marketing team. So welcome, and I hope you guys are doing well. Paulo, you are on mute.
Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, we're happy to join the webinar. We're quite excited. Again, apologies, we did have a bit of a storm which caused some issues with our internet connection. So we enjoying a nice cup of coffee, and yeah, we're going to have a good morning.
Absolutely, Paulo, and good to have you. And I'm also joined by my colleague Dheeraj. Dheeraj is a Vice President for Business Development, and will be, he and his team actually brought in ACDC as a client, and Dheeraj will be helping us today to present the brand to the audience here. So Dheeraj, welcome. And Paulo, I think while we put the presentation, it will be good if you introduce yourself, and of course, how's the brand journey has been in South Africa.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
You can share while Dheeraj pulls in the presentation. I think it'll be great to hear from you, about ACDC's, inception and of course, development into South Africa and where it is.
Yeah, perfect. I think I'm going to let Julio speak a bit. He's our ACDC Express is actually a retail franchise from a very successful South African electrical supply and manufacturer, ACDC Dynamics. And the ACDC Dynamics have been around for about 40 years in the South African market. Dynamics themselves, as we refer to them colloquially, have basically entrenched themselves as one of the market leaders in Southern Africa. We basically have a presence throughout the Southern African continent, and in terms of electricity, the way it's evolved, our growth has been exponential. So our tagline is ACDC Express, being their retail extension, everything electrical is exactly that. We have over 95,000 products, and as technology becomes more and more dependent on electricity, so does our product offering and how our solutions also evolve. Now, what differentiates ACDC Express in comparison to most electrical providers is that we offer a full-on retail experience. And if you think of any retail experience that you have, a modern-day retail experience, it's not just about going in and making a purchase. It's actually enjoying and building up a relationship with your customer and getting to know who they are. And that's what ACDC Express is all about. And we've seen substantial growth in South Africa because of that. Our stores are not just packed with products. There's technical expertise as well inside the stores. So when our customers go in, they're getting a full experience, and they get the peace of mind knowing that any purchase they make will add value, and they're getting an actual solution, not just a product. So ACDC Express, in terms of our offering, isn't just based on contractors either. We're not just servicing electricians. it's a very broad market. We even deal with specific end users that work in specific industries, such as agriculture, mining, for example, hospitality, the hospital sector. But we also cater specifically for retail customers. And with South Africa's electric crisis that we're experiencing at the moment, we've seen a major surge and interest in electricity in general in South Africa, which has resulted in the retail market booming. That's also led to how we've adapted in terms of our offering and how we tailor our offering. So apart from just selling core electrical tools and materials that contractors need on a day-to-day basis, our offering has also gone full route in terms of offering backup solutions such as solar. And it's been a very, very profitable sector for us. Our growth, in an economy which has struggled with factors like COVID-19 and a global recession, we've seen substantial growth in our markets, and we've received over 40% growth in the past financial year. So from an electrical perspective, ACDC Express is just continuously getting requests and demands throughout South Africa and Southern Africa at the moment for more franchise opportunities to keep on growing. And the demand is just unbelievable at this moment. The fact that we're having a presence and there's a massive interest in India just shows the importance and the reliance on electricity and how it's going to shape our lives in various facets going forward. The reality is that also in terms of how we are evolving and the various solutions that we're offering, with the internet having a big impact on businesses and the way we live our lives, ACDC Express isn't just limited to traditional electricity. It's very much also focused on providing value on smart technology and the Internet of Things to ensure that businesses and homes are powered by the Internet of Things, and we've got smart technologies helping our day-to-day lives. And that's how ACDC Express adds value. So whilst our technology is everything electrical, we are basically also catering to ensure that our customers and the B2B customers in particular are able to grow and build up credibility in their lives and in their professions. And that's just an overview in terms of what we're all about and the value that we try and offer our customers as ACDC Express. It's how we differentiate ourselves in the market. We're not just another standard electrical provider where you walk in and you've got to try and go through a million aisles to find your products. Our whole value is that we offer our customers customer satisfaction to ensure that they actually are able to keep on growing and we can be part of their journey in the process.
Absolutely, Julio. That's a very good, I think, description, and you've given us a very sort of roundup, idea about the brand. I have, one question, because when Paolo was with us and we have spoken before, you are, 95,000 products, and of
Correct.
course, I think in terms of formats, what the impression we got from Paolo is that you have actually multiple formats. You have big box, you have, I think, expresses like small box. Do you, Paolo, want to talk about how ACDC really has different accounts? You would have express models also. If you can just touch upon that.
Okay. Thanks, Venus. So basically, in terms of obviously the big boxes in your more predominant areas and obviously the art lane. So the model is basically, it will still be out ACDC Express. That's our basically customer facing. That's how we go out to the market. So in the ACDC Express model, we've obviously got different store sizes with different stock holdings. So that's how we place our stores. So for example, maybe in Mumbai, we might have a bit more of a predominant area. We'll have a bigger store. It will have, bigger technical counters. There'll be more stock offering available at store level already. It's not to say that the smaller stores can't access those. They'll obviously carry a small amount of stock, but they will have access to those 95,000 products. So whether you got yourself a a big box or a small box store, you will have access to all of those products. They are already listed on your system. It's just a matter of fact of obviously picking it up from the ordering and getting it through to your store or directly to your customer. So we like to give. We don't want to penalize the smaller stores and saying, well, you can only sell, A to C. Obviously, with the bigger stores, people they come to the store because it's readily available. They can walk in, get their product, and walk right out in your bigger areas. So that's how we split up our store sizes. We look at the markets and we try to determine what's the best stock level that we need in that store to keep our customers happy all the time.
I just want to just add. So also what we generally look at from a product selection is we look at the fundamentals that all stores generally tend to require. What is the general market need? So if you're looking at a very busy metropolitan area where there's there's specific industry demands, and it's maybe a bigger store than maybe an outlying area. Some of the smaller stores cater to a specific niche market in terms of what they tend to stock over and above the general standards, whereas the larger stores will obviously have a lot more flexibility. So a lot of what we find in South Africa, for example, various towns where a specific sector is very prominent, they'll provide the essentials, the fundamentals that all stores need to have, but then they might have a heavier emphasis leading to that particular sector. However, if there's a request or a demand for other goods, the transfer of those items and the availability can always be arranged. We very much work on an ordering system, and in terms of the logistics of delivering those materials, what we find from South Africa is that we have warehouses to cater to those particular demands. So certain stores of their particular size, whilst we look at the geographic location, the specific market needs, they are able to still source those products so that they're not restricted to minimal items. They can still get access to those full 95,000 items if the demand is there.
No, I think I get that. And in a market like India, you would have to have multiple formats because I think in a business like yours, real estate really, is a critical part. And a lot of electronic, especially, size like yours, you would also then, in some cases, becomes an anchor to, let's say, a mall or, let's say, a large shopping complex. A brand like ACDC, for a big store, you can become an anchor store also in a shopping area. And then you can also have some neighborhood locations depending on the availability of the real estate. So that makes a lot of sense. Go ahead, Paulo, I think on taking us through the presentation, and then we will have our questions later.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think just back to Julio's introduction, it speaks exactly to the presentation, our prospectus that we have. So obviously we are the fastest growing electrical retail franchise in South Africa. We've already established our presence throughout Africa as well. But basically, ACDC Express is an electrical franchise specializing in everything electrical. We established in 2007 the ACDC Express brand, and our core focus is to provide customers with quality electrical solutions. If we go back to our core values, our vision and our mission and our values, everything in this presentation all goes back to our core values. Our vision is to be the preferred electrical retailer. So whatever we do, we always go back to what is the purpose of our business. As Julio is saying, it's not just about electrical, with obviously smart products. If you look at our mission, to be the best solutions-driven electrical retailer, focus on customer service and convenience to ensure electrical needs are satisfied. So we take all of these things pretty seriously, and that's obviously why our brand has become as successful as it is, and that's why we carry on growing. We listen to understand, communicating with a clear intent. All of that all reads back to basically what we intend to establish going forward. We offer a full turnkey solution. So basically, we will assist with the locations, doing the geographical study, and having the store set up. So that's the new ACDC Express franchisee will be more focused on training and getting to understand the business on the operational side. It's not a stress that's needed from someone entering the market to try and set up a store on their own. We offer that. Obviously, it's part of our service. Yeah. As Julio said, we were at over 80,000 individual items. We're now on 95. This was just over a year ago that we're on 80. So we are definitely our fastest growing electrical retail franchise. I think just the amount of products we're stocking and the increase thereof speaks for itself. Okay, the growth of the ACDC Express franchise group is attributed to two basic principles from the cornerstone of our business: customer relations management and maximizing business efficiency. And then just on customer satisfaction, a sale is not something that you pursue. A sale is something that happens to you while you immerse yourself in serving the customer. So we believe very strongly, build a relationship, understand their needs, the sale will come. We don't believe in forcing the sale. Our customer satisfaction, if your customer's happy, they will come back. If they get the assistance, they've got a nice retail experience, they will definitely come back. Dhiraj, do you want to just pop through to the next page? Okay, so the ideal franchisee. Okay, so this is just a bit of a basic job description of the kind of skills that we feel a franchisee should attain. Obviously, they're going to be running a business day to day, so management of staff. They're obviously, they've got to be hands-on. That they've got to know how to manage staff. So recruiting, appointing, training, and motivating staff. Assisting and build relationship with customers. If they out on the floor often enough and they're assisting their salespeople and building relationships, it goes a long way. Stock management, logistics. These are just examples of what someone will do probably on a daily basis, owning a franchise. Quality control, service and maintenance of the outlet, stock ordering and control, system control, general business administrative. The list goes on. These are just your day-to-day running, and I think as a business owner, it's not necessarily that they have to excel in each one of these, but this is a general understanding of the day-to-day of what you can expect running a ACDC Express franchise. Personal characteristics, obviously someone that works hard, doesn't mind putting in the hours, even though the store might only open at, say, 9 in the morning and close at 6 in the evening. Owning your own business is a full-time job. It's not to say that our franchisees, a lot of them have a lot of personal time and enjoy their freedom. But running your own business, you've got to be motivated. You've got to, if a call comes through from a customer who's like us, a storm hits our office park, we're on the call to, that's a franchisee, always ready to help the customer out. Yes, yeah.
I have a question with regards to, so this is the profile of a franchisee which in South Africa who would be, let's say, owning one store, right? And when we're talking about having a franchise partner in India, Paolo, do you want to share with the audience here and who will watch this later? what kind of partner you are looking for, let's say, in a new market like India to set up, to enter?
Well, for us, we are ideally looking for someone that's obviously, likes investing in businesses and likes to take something on from the beginning and obviously watch it grow. So it kind of goes back to the ideal franchisee. Obviously, as a business partner, you can almost say franchisor in the country. Someone that's a visionary, someone that can actually see the future potential of a brand like this. Someone that's not afraid to take a leap, and the day-to-day operational stuff it's there, it's listed. You do A to Z. For a business partner, I would. My biggest thing to me is someone that's visionary, somebody that's in the business field. Not necessarily electrical, but someone that's they wake up in the morning to grow businesses and to take on the next project and the next challenge, and so that's kind of what we're looking for in the ideal partnership.
Venus, just to add on, so just going back to the most basic aspects of our brand, we've got two very powerful colors as part of our CR. So ACDC Express and the ACDC franchise, it's a very energetic, fast-paced type of franchise. So if you're looking for a business owner, they've got to have passion, they've got to have energy. There's no pun intended, energy and electricity. But that's the nature of the business. It can provide immense profit potential and wealth potential, but as Paolo mentioned, there's a lot of graft that needs to go. And you need to have the vision, particularly since electricity is regarded as a basic human need. How can you provide a solution? So it's got to be someone that's solutions focused, that is looking at compounding their wealth and their growth. They need to be able to also have phenomenal leadership. If they're going to have various managers owning various stores that have got the practical skills and the knowledge. It's not just the type of business where anyone can just open up and go. Because of the technical expertise, you need to have a visionary, forward-thinking mindset. And because electricity is continuously evolving and it's linking up a lot, as I said earlier on, with things like the internet and AI, you need to have that visionary growth if you want to succeed. And we've seen it just from a local level. The owners that are very successful have got that vision. They try out new things. They want to tap into new areas, and their growth and their success is exponential. It's not just running it for the sake of making money. So it's someone that has got that vision, that is forward thinking, because electricity has got a significant link in terms of how we live our lives in the future, and that's on a global scale. So it's someone that has got that vision, that's got that powerful leadership, but understands the technical elements and has got that energy to keep on going and has got that passion to succeed.
Right. No, I think Julio and Paulo, I agree with you. I think with just adding to what you mentioned, since this will be the first time the brand is venturing out in a new market like India, what makes most sense would be someone who is an existing retailer. You might or might not be into a similar category, and would can become a master partner for the brand into the Indian territory and build and develop the business across the country. So I think it will make more sense if you are already a retailer. I think onboarding the brand, getting the right teams, getting the right locations, having infrastructure with regards to annual maintenance contracts and so on and so forth. So this would make more sense if you are already of a certain size of a retailer. Doesn't matter if it's electronics or not, but I think existing retailer, this opportunity would make more sense. And my question is, how does the supply chain work? Because it's a product business. You will be plugging in your South African supply chain. I mean, what are your ideas behind getting supply chain to India? Because this is a very critical part of the business.
Yes, okay. So just to go back to obviously ideal business partner, you correct there. Basically we want somebody that's doing what we do in South Africa to do it for in India. Someone that's going to manage the brand, build the brand, like you say, look for potential sites, sign up franchisees. So exactly what we do here from a head office point of view, that is what we're looking for in India. Someone to, you can almost say, own the brand there and grow the brand. In terms of products and distribution, very important parts, I agree with you. So currently we source products worldwide, okay? So we source product worldwide, we do some manufacturing here, we repackage here. So we are currently looking at warehousing closer to the Middle East right now. It's actually, the product will probably get to there quicker than it does to SA. So we are looking at obviously being efficient enough to get products through to the necessarily countries. So what would happen with that is if, for example, India, if we find a business partner that's going to undertake to run the brand, then grow the brand, we would obviously we would look at setting up a main warehouse where obviously stock would go, and then from there it would get dispatched through to the relevant franchisees. That's pretty much how we run it, and as the business grows, then there'll be more warehouses set where we carry and hold stock for the franchisees. Obviously, initially it would be, I wouldn't say a trial and error. It will definitely be according to actual figures and data. But yes, we would obviously enter the markets. We would look at getting product shipped there enough to, for a few months at least, and see how it rolls with a month. And then we would update our stock levels and bring in different items as and when the market moves and as we determine. And I think that's a good place to start at.
Right, Julio, you have to add something there.
No. I think I'm pretty much on board with Paolo.
Yeah.
The one thing also that I just want to just emphasize is that in terms of our product range, a lot of our products are also sourced from all over the world. We also source products from a lot of established global brands from. So for the likes of 𝐸𝐸𝐬𝐬, for example. So in terms of also arranging for, the logistics of the supply of our goods to come through to India, there's various multi-channels. And, that's the benefit also of having a backing like Dynamics that have been in the industry for 40 years. We're not just boxed in from a South African or an Sub-Saharan African perspective. We also, I don't know if this has been shared when Paolo was in India, but we also supply CNS circuit breakers, which are from India. So in terms of a supply chain, in terms of getting it across, and also our point of entry into the Indian market, getting stock to the Indian market won't be an issue. We've got factories and what you call it, suppliers worldwide. It's not just based locally in South Africa. Even our head office and our setup is based in South Africa.
Yeah, I think I echo what you mentioned. So you are a multi-brand retailer, and of course you have your private label as well, which of course I would say any established retailer does. You have multi-brand and then you have your own private label. So so India, of course, they will be sourcing within the country. They will be, and they're all sort of popular brands are already there in India. They either manufacture or import. So I think that this typical work, and that's why I mentioned that an existing retailer would be an ideal partner for ACDC, because managing these brand relationships and getting the custom clearances and logistics, all that, you do need a certain scale to be able to do it effectively, so that it's worthwhile for everyone in the value chain. So I think this the supply chain is going to be very key part, and ACDC as someone who has been doing this for 40 years understands this, and the more sort of unpacking of supply chain will be done with the potential partner once there's an understanding of if both of you want to kind of work together, and then it will roll how much is sourced within the country, outside the country, and of course the pricing and so on and so forth. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. If there's anything else? Must I just carry on with this? These are just the pictures of some of our existing franchises. Some of them have been around for a few, but I feel for the purpose of this, it's more. This is just an example of how our group's grown. I think as the business partner, we're looking for in India. We want someone to eventually have a portfolio of stores like this under their belts. And I think that's it from our side.
Any questions from the audience? We have the brand team here, and they would love to answer any questions or any feedback you might have. Dheeraj, are we seeing something? Try and see. I don't see any questions. So on that note, Paulo, Julio, and Vanessa, thank you very much. Anything you would want to add before we give this back to our domestic team here?
No, I think from our side, yeah, I think India's is there's got an enormous market potential there. I think what we've achieved in South Africa versus what we could achieve in India, I think our market share is a fragment of what could actually, the business that can be grown in India. I think we're very excited to enter the Indian market. I believe that it is one of the world's top economies, and I do believe when we launch this brand in India with a master franchisee, I do believe that it's going to be extremely successful.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Paulo. And there's a question, if I can answer this. Hi, 𝐤𝐲𝐬𝐬. Thank you so much for your question. 𝐤𝐲𝐬𝐬, so FranGlobal's core services to get the brand to India. What we are looking for is someone who can become the master franchisee of the brand. And that master franchise partner would be responsible for working with ACDC guys here and many others with regards to import, with regards to the product mix, supply chain, logistics, and so on and so forth. So right now, the opportunity is suitable for someone who can look at this opportunity as a master franchise for ACDC for India. And that's why we mentioned, I think if you're an existing operator, an existing retailer of a certain size, doesn't matter which part, any part of the country, because if you're dealing in consumer goods, electronic goods, you have retail, you have supply chain, you have people, you should be able to have the right ability and capacity to do this. So this is the third question.
No,
Support. So 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐲, the marketing would be a joint exercise between you and ACDC. This of course would come, this is part of any master franchise deal. Everything would be in a collaboration, 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐲. And because you will be a master, we're looking for a master franchise. Now you say, okay, I am a retailer or an operator in South India. So yes, we can look at just a South Indian territory, because that in and by itself is a large enough territory. So I think if it makes sense, 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐲, it will be, if you are, I would like to ask you, if you are an existing operator or retailer and want to, partner with a brand like ACDC to become a master partner, which actually effectively means that you will be ACDC India. And so we need partners like those. And then, of course, the brand will be developed through a sub-franchise model. Once you are able to open a couple of your stores, you have the team together, retail franchisees like these, there's a huge demand because, investor likes to sort of, invest into product franchisees. So there's a, but that's the next, I would say, phase two. Phase one is someone coming in, partnering with the brand to make the brand, let's say, first enter India. What that structure would look like, I think it's very subjective to where you are, what size you are, what you really want to do. They have 95,000 products. I think we're getting, and they mentioned they have B2B categories, they have B2C categories. There might be some opportunities where, you want to build just a brand with B2B items, because there's a huge opportunity over there, because I think most of the brands are covering B2C area. So there are many opportunities. It all depends on, what you're looking for, and if there is enough value in doing this for the brand, for you and for everyone else in the value chain. So I think that's what where I would like to answer. How is the supply chain of product directly importing from SEO? Joby, Paulo and Julio mentioned that. So it will be a mix. It's a multi-brand retail, right? They will be sourcing products within the country, outside the country. Some products will be imported from South Africa. They are putting up a warehousing and logistic solution in Dubai. So, and Dubai and India being, nearby, as well as Dubai being sort of a port city. And then I think it makes sense to have the importation from there. So it will be a mix, because it's a multi-brand plus private label brand, just like almost any other established one. So those would be my answer. There's another one. What would be the estimate expense to start a franchise in B2C category city? I don't have that number right now, Joby, because that number can be, if you're opening up a 100,000 square feet store, the investment into that store can be about 25 crores. And then if you're looking at let's say a 5,000 square feet store, the investment would be much curtailed. But again, it's not about that. We are looking for a master franchise partner, someone who can do a specific territory for India and set up operations in India with the brand. So that's what we are looking for right now. Single store opportunity is not available because it just doesn't make sense. But any which ways, you have our information. Please reach out to us if we can help you. Maybe make more sense about this opportunity or any other. As far as international brands is concerned, you can reach out to me and my team at the information provided in the chat box. Otherwise, I think I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Paulo, Julio, Vanessa. Even after, having the troubles to join in, they were able to do this session with us. Thank you so much. And ACDC team, we will talk to the people, and if we find something which makes a lot of synergy with the opportunity, we will connect them with you. And I want to thank my FranGlobal team, Dheeraj, Vikas, Srithma, Mitha, everyone who made this possible. And of course, Franchise India and FIBL team for doing this every day and presenting, bringing in a new concept to Indian audience every day here at 12 o'clock. So thank you, everyone. And over to you, over to my colleague, Harshika from here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Venus.
Thank you.
Raj.
We will keep in touch, and thank you for hosting.
Sure.